So I really put the flash on this. Let's see. Um, Anybody know if I can put the flash on? We're on the bridge over the river. Oh, just starting. I don't see an option to put the flash. Technology. Hmm. If anybody's on and knows how, I wonder. Oh, I could do this. How's that? That's better. Can't see the river. Shoveling, not shuffling. Stop shuffling. They're doing the shuffle in the snow. Ah, it doesn't show. Dang. Well, this is where I had fighting over here. Not from right here. I can't see anything. I'll head back. My God, why is my name still that? I gotta change that. That's weird. Oh, why is it not doing? It's not letting me change my name. Oh my goodness. That was us messing around the other night. Look at my bird feeders. The snow is up to the bird feeders. You can't tell this, but it's just to my shoulders about, almost. Okay, we're gonna go in and we're gonna shuffle the cards. I'm gonna do this. Hi, Jem. How are you? I'll leave the door shut. What are you up to? Whew. It's not cold out, that's for sure. I better turn the Wi-Fi on. Oh, what was that? Oh, well. Okay. Just went for a little walk. Haven't been out in a while because I've not been feeling well. But I really wanted to get out there and get a walk in the snow before it all left us. Oh, I'm gonna mute myself while I blow my nose, okay? Hi, Josh. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. What are you up to? How are you? It was nice to get some fresh air. Oh, I only walked over to the bridge, but you really couldn't see very well out there. It's like pitch black back by the bridge. So I turned my flash on so you could see, but all I could see was a little bit of snow coming down. That's it. You're at work. How's Tammy? Say hi to Tammy. How is your day going, guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? Shows there's two in here. So Josh and Jem. Is it snowing where you are? The snow came early when I first went out. Like I wanted to get out there and go for a walk before it snowed because I didn't want to have a wet phone, and it's fairly mild, so I knew it was going to be wet snow. And it started actually like I got out there and there was no snow, and then I started to feel sprinkles almost right away. It was like it was waiting for me to go outside. How's your night going, Josh? 48 degrees. So all the snow is starting. What's 48 degrees in Canadian? Where's my other phone? I could check that. Oh, it's right here. Let me see what that means. 12/12, by the way. 48 Fahrenheit to Celsius. Ooh, 8.888888. I love it. That's great. 48 degrees Fahrenheit is 8.88888889 degrees Celsius. Let me check what we're at. Um, we're at -3 and it feels like -6, it says. I found it was mild, like I was getting warm and I was all bundled up in my shirt, sweater, and then I had a hoodie and then a sweater on top of a hoodie and a toque. So it was pretty warm for me anyways. Gonna be a short night. Yeah. Um it's gonna be a short night for me too on the stream. It says that I have 2 hours, 2.5 hours left. And I attempted to use a different Samsung Google account, but it wouldn't let me use it. Hi, Bim Jim. 9:19, and it's 5 degrees Celsius in British Columbia. In beautiful British Columbia. I always love seeing your license plates when you come around here. Beautiful British Columbia. Is it snowing where you are? I guess not at 5 degrees. I should say, did you get any snow? Or ought to say, did you get any snow? Hi, Owe. Good to see you. I knew what you meant. What are you up to tonight? How was your day? It's 9:12 where Bim Jim is. What time is it where you are, Owe? And Josh, I think you're on Eastern time, right? Jem, I'm pretty sure you're also on Eastern time, I think, right? Oh, you're on Eastern time too. Yeah, I went out to go for a walk, but it was wet snow coming down. It came early. It was only supposed to come at like 7 o'clock in the morning. The weatherman says. Weatherman's always wrong, though. Imagine having a job where you can be wrong about every single thing all the time, every day, and still get paid. It's like, good job today on the news, on the weather. It was nice to get out, though, and get some fresh air. I get a little bit every day, but to go out for a walk, haven't been feeling well lately, so haven't been able to get out really. I'm gonna mute while I blow my nose, okay? OA says my day was just hunky dory. Good, that's good. Jim, you had no snow this year yet. The last time we had a no snow winter was 43 years ago. Wow. Huh. Were you there when that happened, Jim? Were you living in BC then? Oh, wait, it's warm, 15 degrees Celsius there? Jeez Louise. I put my government tape on the phone. Duct tape. What's what anybody have any plans for the week or for the weekend coming up? Or what are you entertaining yourself in? 0 degrees Celsius the other days ago with 3 inches of snow. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't know how much snow is expected here overnight. If it started early, so we're gonna probably get more than expected, but we got quite a bit of snow now already here. But it's gonna be mild coming up in the over the next week, so I imagine we'll lose most of it. I wanted to get out and get a walk in it before we lost it. But mind you, it'll probably snow again next week. We'll get a ton more. We got a lot of snow the last week or so. Oh, you're over it, are you? I love the snow. I don't love that it keeps me out of the woods and away from the river. Although my tante and uncle brought me snowshoes, and I've never owned snowshoes. I have two wish lists. One are things that if I come across, like if I have extra money in the month, then I need to get this now kind of thing. That's like a right now kind of wish list. And then I have another wish list that's it's all things that I would love to have if I ever, which I don't gamble, but if I ever won the lottery, things that I would want to get, or if I ever like came across a I don't know, like a big bag of cash somewhere. But then I would probably I don't know at this point now. If you asked me this a few years ago, I would say I would bring it in for sure. But geez, like I need money. So, anyways, if I came upon money, I have another list, a wish list of things that I'll probably never see in my life, but would be nice too. And one of them is snowshoes. So that was pretty cool. They brought me their secondhand snowshoes, and they're blue, my favorite color. And yeah, it's pretty awesome actually. But with this spider bite infection thing, I haven't had the energy to use them. So hopefully before the snow leaves. Jim says, "Yep, I was here. However, the record measurements are taken at the Vancouver airport, 50 kilometers away. The weather can be very different." Yeah. Uh, Even here, just like 2 minutes out of town or out of the village, and it's different. Josh says, "If I never see snow again, it would be too soon." Oh, you wouldn't miss it? I think you would miss it. I think you're you're over it now, but I don't know. I can't speak for you. I would be so sad if I never saw snow again. Always says, "I love snow. If I had snow, I so I so would have to have a beater snowmobile zoom zoom wee crash." This is a crash. The little logo on the dollar sign thing on here is blocking your word. I think that says crash. Yeah, the skidoos were out in full force the last few days here. I'd love to have a skidoo. That'd be freaking awesome. When we were kids, we used to go back home. We get a lot more snow back home than here, and it's all like open fields and um, all oh, just nature. It's beautiful. And we used to get on the old skidoos and tie a toboggan by a rope to the back of the skidoo and just like pile all the kids would pile on and we'd go flying through the hills and the goal was to try to knock everybody off. Oasis Bomber, you need the Roots brand's main concoction. The doctor lady makes it heal stuff. I don't know what that is. Um, he said, hey, you got a spider bite? That sucks bad. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I've been really ill actually for 2 months because of it. If I had a good immune system, then I could have fought it a lot faster. But I have autoimmune disease, so my body takes like if there's a threat or it sees something as foreign, like somebody healthy or like with a healthy immune system, um, if there was foreign matter, then your body's gonna fight it and get rid of it, and it's good. But my body starts attacking itself. It goes into an overreactive state, and it starts attacking itself. So pretty much like anything that could go wrong with the immune system right now, that's what's been happening, and it's been about 2 months. Because it was well, I'd have to look in my pictures because I took a picture when I first saw it. Um, and I didn't know what it was. I had no idea. I thought it was like a cyst or something. Um, but it wasn't. It was a spider bite. When it burst, there was two distinct holes there where the fangs went in, and it didn't look good at all, and it didn't make sense to me why it would be infected like that because I'm very clean and it just didn't make sense. Um, and I was having really weird symptoms with it, so I went to see my doctor, and she's like, "Yep, it's infected. It's a spider bite, and it's common for because spiders are walking around all over the place. Um, so then whatever's on their fangs, if when they bite you, like just from anywhere, wherever they were, um, so whatever it put in me, that's like we don't have. Well, I shouldn't say we don't have poisonous spiders here, but the chances are low that it would have been a poisonous spider. Anyway, it was infected right away. So that's been fun. I think what I'm really over is the dizziness and the tired dizziness, and the I have a work injury from 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago, in my shoulder, and it's inflamed really bad and flared up. Like it's excruciating pain running down my arms, and it's going up my neck and into my head. Like it's really that part I could really do without that. So I don't take pain medicine, so yeah, there's that. OA says Bomber, these folks mail them. He and his wife have helped make well a lady and know a lot about your condition. Mark Sherwood and wife Michelle, Functional Medicine Institute. Um, yeah, it sounds like it would be really super helpful. For sure it would. No doubt. Unless they work pro bono, though, which I wouldn't expect them to. Yeah, Josh, it really sucks. Yes, except for getting a tattoo, a different kind of pain, right? That's a good kind of pain. Ooh, Woo Riders is here. Hello, Woo Riders. Welcome. Good to see you. What are you up to? How was your day? I love it. Team Woo. Hello, Des. Team Woo. That's cute. Greetings and salutations. Team Woo says, greetings and salutations. Oasis, just ask them they're good people. I bet they will help even at no cost, but I digress. And you send healing prayers. Thank you. Thank you. I'll take a screenshot of their name and see if there's something that they could even recommend. I'll take 2 screenshots because one down there, that stuff. Oh, Lou says trimmed some palm trees and cut a few branches down at another job. Palm trees, imagine. They look so foreign to me. I've seen them in videos. And they're beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. How's Des doing? How is she recovering? I can't remember what it was. Was it her leg? I think it was her leg that she had to go for surgery, or maybe it was you that went for. No, because Des had something that she had to go. I can't remember. I think it was Super. So I think it was Super that said referred to the brain as Swiss cheese, and that's it's a great way to put it. That's how I'm going to describe it now. My brain is Swiss cheese. Woo says just got done eating a bowl of cinnamon toast crunch with pancake syrup on top. Oi. Her fibula is fully healed, metal plate, and this thing, I wish I could move this. There's a dollar sign, a big dollar sign on my screen, and it blocks the last word when the last comment that comes up. Anyway, I'm glad to see that she's fully healed. That's awesome. Metal plate and screws now, I see. So she's fully healed. So she doesn't have to wear the metal plate and screws anymore, or that's what's in there now. Like, will that have to be in there forever, or is that a temporary thing? Somebody went for num-nums. It's good because she didn't look like she was feeling well earlier. Well, she was feeling great, and then I think she overdid it. And then she looked like she wasn't feeling well after. I'd like to get her on some glucosamine. I think that would help her. Oh, but the vet's so like anti doing anything. I mean, anything natural, anyways. But I gave her a little bit of Greek yogurt the other day, just like a few little licks of plain Greek yogurt for her gut health, and that's because a vet online. There's a vet, and I can't remember the vet's name, but he recommended that a little bit of Greek yogurt, plain Greek yogurt. So anyway, so I have some. I always usually have some in my fridge, and I gave her just a couple licks of it, and oh, she was doing great after that. She had a bunch of energy, and she was happy, and frig it I don't know, like the gut health is so important. So, but if I told my vet that I did that, I think he would be upset, which sucks because I just want her to be at her top peak health. But she has megacolon, so she's got to be. We have to be really careful with what she like her stuff, her food. She's on special food and medicine every day. That'll be for the rest of her life. But full Greek yogurt is really good for the gut. So anyways, it helped her. She really liked that. So the last 2 days she's been getting a little bit of that in the morning. And earlier today she was in such a good mood. Like she was running around and she was cuddly and she wanted to play. Like she was doing so great. Yeah, so then like an hour or two ago, she didn't look so great. She looked like she was maybe hurting, poor thing. I think she pushed herself and was tired, sore. Who says that's the hardware in there forever unless some other technology comes out to the public? Hi, Bubba. I was just talking about you. What are you doing? You want to come here? Oh, you look good now. You had a good sleep? Yep, back up to sleep on the camping gear. Josh says, I hate that stupid $ blocking the last word. Mine does that too. It's really annoying. Like, I can guess what it is based on what the sentence is, usually, but not always. Well, there's 8 people in the chat. That's a good lucky number. I think maybe we'll start the game. Pull the cards out. Might as well. Eh? Anybody here who has not played the game before? Do I need to read the box? OA says olive oil, Greek yogurt. My cat eat that stuff a lot. Fuck the mind control doctors. Ignore doctor when you have to. The compound that makes blueberry blue and red onion red. Get that stuff for your health. Forget the darn name. Antioxidant is what you're looking for. Excuse me. Oh, actually, it might not be antioxidant. There's tannins. Is it the tannins? Is that? I don't know. Again, my brain is Swiss cheese. Bim Jim, read the box, please. I will. I sure will. Okay, so this card game is called Dinner with Friends, Time Together, Cozy Conversation in Pleasant Company. On the back of the box, it says, Time Together is a fantastic starting point for great conversations and a fun way to get to know your friends even better. The game contains more than 160 entertaining and thoughtful questions guaranteed to spark meaningful and interesting conversations at backyard parties, over dinner, or just hanging out. And I like to add in the chat. Learn new things about your friends and grow your relationship while having fun at the same time. And inside the box, it says, this is not a game about winning or losing. It's about having a nice time together and getting to know each other better. Questions can be asked in any order, but we suggest that players take turns drawing cards and asking the 3 questions on their cards one at a time. The aim of the game is getting to know each other on a deeper level and having fun. So don't feel bad when you realize that the discussion keeps going off on a million tangents. That's the whole point. I am, Woo. How did you know that? Was that a lucky guess? So the first one to give me some numbers, I need 2 numbers from you. I need a number from 1 to 55 and a number from 1 to 3. 2 numbers, 1 to 55, and the second number is 1 to 3. Yes, I'm fairly close, yes. Yes, the tangents are the point. Yeah. Getting to know each other, like just making conversation and yeah, deeper conversation. Okay, so OA was first with a 17, but he also said a 23. So OA, I can do a card number 17, and then I need a number from 1 to 3. Two, okay. And Bim is next, so I'm going to put this up there so I don't lose it. Okay, for everybody in the chat, have you ever made a scene in public? Have you ever made a scene in public? And the way that this is worded, it sounds like this is a yes or no question, but this is for story time. So tell your stories. Tell your stories. I don't want a yes and a no or a maybe. Tell us about it. Oh, anthocyanins. Take a little shot of that. If I can remember that, because I take these screenshots to save time from taking notes, but I really ought to take notes because I have a phone full of screenshots that I never go back on. Bim says yes. OA says yes, I used to drink beer. Kitty Cattywhack. Hello, hello. Kitty says, hi, Bomber, popping in, but I'm over at SOR, but also watching the Winter Olympics. I had to watch the luge racing and also skiing. I used to be a huge time skier, always on the slopes. Oh, that's awesome. Me too. We skied a lot when we were kids. At some point, work took over my life, and then work ruined my life. Well, it was my own fault from overworking, but I had an injury at work, so it kind of took. Well, you know that. I think we discussed that the other day. I believe that was you, Kitty, that we were relating on that. We'll be here. We're not going to be here for too long, because I only have 2.5 hours left with StreamYard, which it's going to jump back over on the 12th, so that's not bad. But as long as we cut this short before 2.5 hours, then I can come back on and they won't cut us off next time. Woo says, oh wait, we're jumped. OA says, never skied. Woo says, I used to hit the slopes from time to time also. Bimjan says, last week I found a guy parked in a disabled parking who is not disabled. I gave him total shit. Yes, attaboy. Tell him, Jim. That's, like there's a time to bite your tongue and there's a time to speak up, right? And that's the time. Yeah. What did he do? Did he just park there and like get up and walk out like it was no problem, or? I want to hear more about that story. Actually, you know what we might do tonight? When you have a story like that, what if I drop the link? You could come on and tell the story, and then we'll just keep rotating. Whoever wants to come on. What do you think? If I do this, How do I do this? Invite guests? Because I want to hear this freaking story. I want to hear your stories. Oh, woo. Okay. I know what you mean. Kitty says, yes, we actually could relate on quite a few things. So we have empathy for each other. Ah, big hugs. Big hugs, yes. Dr. Bob says, hiding the slopes will burn a hole in your septum. Woo. Listen to Dr. Bob. He's giving you medical advice. Oh, what did I just do here? He means riding the slopes. Josh says, not me. I avoid being the center of attention like the plague. Time for you to make a scene, Josh. Maybe do it right now. Is Tammy working? Throw a fit or something. Just start throwing books around and it's gonna just like, what's going on? Is he having a seizure? Oh, I think by the end of the year, Canada will get its freedom back. I'll leave it at that, but my source tells me that's a fact. Just time. Well, we shall see. I'd love to know your source of that. Bim Jim says, I told him there was a $300 fine and I was going to call the cops. He moved it fast. That's awesome, Bim Jim. Kitty says, my favorite was jamming racing down the moguls. Oh man, I always wanted to do that. So I tried it and I died. Like not legit, but I wiped out. I've tried it a couple times and I wiped out. I always wanted to do it, and in my head I'm like a professional mogul jumper. But I'm not at all. Like I nearly killed myself one time. We were on a ski trip in Edmundston, New Brunswick. Same Montferland, I think Montferland. And anyways, yeah, it was one little section. I took a side turn and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go here. And I saw the other kids because it was a school trip, right? And the other kids were going down this one thing area where there were moguls there, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is my chance. I'm gonna do it. And I went. Oh man, that's crazy. Anyways, I hit into a tree. It was good. I lost a ski, learned a lesson. You know, it wasn't the first time, but that time I learned a lesson. Owe says, I know a bit off topic, but I had to spread the great news to my northern neighbor. It would be amazing news, Owe. I won't hold my breath. But I'm leaning more towards hopefulness now since the Epstein files have come out. So I just like I haven't even brought myself to look into Carney's connection to them, but I know he is, and I just I feel like it's gonna make me throw up. The whole thing makes me sick. Even though we knew about it. It's just the details, right? But I'm sure Carney. Anyways, I can't even think about him. His face is like very punchable. Wu says Carney is a shit show. Yes, sir. That's putting it very nicely. Very nicely. So, did everybody answer the question? Have you ever made a scene in public? I want to hear about the scene. Bim Jim told us his story. Thanks, Kitty Cattywack. I don't feel like I am. Like there's a part of me inside of. I think it's my inner. I don't know what it is. I think it's it's the spirit, right? My human side feels like a pile of crap, like trash. But I think it's all the injuries and illness and shit like that. It weighs. But I would say I got a good little spirit in there somewhere. Always says military contractor, nothing classified or anything, but nonetheless. Oh, A, I want you to get on and tell me more, but maybe email me if you have my email. I would like to know more about that. Yep, files are a dark shit show. Carney is the lapdog of the UK bankers, just like China. Yep. It sure is. Josh says, I'm home. I was tired of work. Oh, you were just over it? Did you just tell Tammy to stuff it? You're like, take this job and shove it. OA says, I'm thinking of what story to say. Embarrassing stuff. Some of them, not a lot of them, but yeah. Okay, so guys, I'm gonna drop the link and as we go through the questions, if you wanna get on and share, like if you've got a story to share, come on and tell your story, and you can stay on the panel, or you can tell your story and go. You can do whatever. Let's drop a link and then see if I can. How about this? Tell me your story. Now, what if I do this? I want to pin that comment. How come it won't let me pin it? Oh, goodness. Oh, I can do it from my other phone. What did I do with it? I'm going to pin that. I want to hear your stories. I want to hear your stories, guys. Have you ever made a scene in public? Get on. Tell us your stories. There we go. I pinned it. I did a thing. Okay, so oh, you're going to tell? Okay, cool. In the meantime, I'm going to pull out Bim Jim's card and get it ready and ready to go. Okay. Oh, I'll just go backwards. 47 and 1. Oh, woo, I must have missed the first part of your comments. Oh, I didn't. You said I held him down till the cops showed up. Who did you hold down, Woo? What did I miss? Am I behind? Oh, Josh, pretty much. Did you? You just said you're over this? Take it and shove it? Oh, well, just so you know, it's not me. I don't censor you guys at all. What did you say, I wonder? Give me some code words so I can understand what you're saying. Hello, Bim Jim.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Oh, you can hear me? Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly well. I'm just takes me about a minute to get everything rearranged to go on to enter into this thing. You know, I got to plug in my headphones and this and that. So here I am. Yes, I'm here.
Wait, Bim
Yeah.
Jim, before you start, for anybody just coming in, the question was, have you ever made a scene in public? And Bim Jim is going to share his scene from yesterday, you said?
About a week ago. Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yeah,
one
I
week
can hear.
ago. Yeah, yeah. I it just popped into my head when you mentioned it, but in the past I've done it quite a bit. I'm that kind of person. I will make a scene in
You speak
public.
up. You speak up when it needs to be said, right?
I do, and it's not deliberate. It's just my nature, you know.
Yeah.
It's my personality is like that, you know. But this deal with the guy in the disabled parking, man, that really peed me off big time because there's only two disabled parking spots right next to this park, you know.
Hmm.
It's a really nice park. I like to go and park there and view the, you know, it's beautiful scenery by the beach and some forest and it's a very nice little park. And I often like to park there. So I pulled over to park in the disabled parking, but both of them were full. And and then so I parked uh, and I looked and there was no sticker on one of the two cars, you know,
Oh yeah.
no sticker in the windshield. So I thought, oh, I wonder who that is, you know. So there was a commercial thing set up right there in the park, which I disagree with. I've always disagreed with putting commercial in the parks, right?
What do you
Yeah.
mean by commercial?
Well, sometimes they're selling hot dogs or tacos, or this is actually a sauna. It's a sauna business, if you can imagine that. I've
In
never
a
seen that
park.
in a park. Yeah. Somebody got permission to tow a sauna in there into the park it in the park, and then charge people to have a sauna. And
Ugh.
it's a commercial business inside a park, and I completely disagree with that. So anyway,
So do I. I agree with you. I can't even imagine that's it ruins the whole experience.
yeah, well, I was in very much involved in the design of this park myself with a bunch of other people. So I got into the politics of setting up the park and designing it and all that sort of thing. And my position was no commercial anywhere inside the boundary of the park. You
So
know,
this is even more personal for you.
oh yeah, very much so. So
Yeah.
okay, so okay, so I couldn't pull into the disabled parking, so I got out and I see the guy's got no sticker. And this guy who parked there was in this sauna. He came out of the sauna, right? He's young man, 6'1", young, healthy as can be.
Ugh.
And I just happened to approach him and say, "Oh, do you know whose car that is there with no disabled sticker on it?" And he said, "Oh, well, that's my car." And I said, "What do you do parking there? You're not disabled." He says, "Oh," he kind of shrugged his shoulder, this and that, you know. And I started swearing at him and calling him all kinds of names and giving him S up and down and sideways this way and that. And
You gave
uh,
him the business.
pardon me?
You gave him the business.
Oh, I sure did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. When I know I'm right like this, morally right, you see,
Yeah.
because see, I'm a moral person, right? And uh, you know, I think about morality and all that, and society and all that kind of stuff, right? I go to
Yeah.
discussion groups and philosophy cafe, and I talk about all these things. A lot of it has to do with morals. So anyway, yeah, w- but he didn't move towards his car to move it until I said to him, I said to him, "There's a $300 fine for parking there, and I'm going to call the cops." Then he jumped. Then he jumped and moved his flipping car. Okay.
Yeah.
Then he jumped.
That is-
Now I was bluffing a little bit when I said that stuff about $300 fine. I was bluffing a little bit because because actually I don't have a cell phone, so I can't phone the cops right away. I can't do that, so I was bluffing a little bit, and also the $300 part. Last time I looked into it, the fine was $230 or something like that. But I
But
assume
we
I
both know with inflation, it's probably gone up, right?
probably yeah. And back yeah, that's about 15 years ago, something like that. I investigated the whole issue of disabled parking spots and all that. And at that time, I did not have a disabled parking card myself. I didn't have one, but I looked into the whole deal, and I went to the RCMP and I went to the local government. I asked a whole bunch of questions, and it turns out that the RCMP is responsible for that, but they did not know that they were responsible for it. I eh, they told me that it was local government who did that, the local bylaw officer. So I went to the local government and they said, "No, it's not our job. It's not a bylaw. It's a law, you know." So I went back to the RCMP, told them that they were responsible, and the receptionist looked it up and said, "Oh yeah, I was right. I was right.
Yeah.
It's an RCMP issue, and it's their jurisdiction, and there is an actual fine for it." But she didn't even know that, and the RCMP didn't know it. They
Oh,
had no idea that it was their.
nobody knew it. No, God, passing the buck, eh?
Yeah, so I told them, and and um, and then I asked the RCMP, "Have you ever once given out a ticket for that?" And they said, "Nope, not a once. Never
Wow.
ever done it." So I've been going around enforcing that, and this was back, like 15, 20 years ago when I did not need a disabled sticker. In fact, I needed a little exercise, so I didn't require the disabled sticker, and I would find these cars parked in disabled,
You're
and
looking out,
without
you're
the
looking out
sticker,
for the people who actually need it.
and I would give them a hell of a hard time because I had friends who were on disability. I had friends, family members in wheelchairs, and all that sort of thing, right? So
Yep.
I was defending them, and to me, this is just totally natural. I,
Yep.
I I don't even think about it. I just protect people who need protecting. I just jump to protect children or smaller people or disabled people. I just jump
Yeah.
into
Same.
into
Same.
it.
It's
And
intuitive. Yeah. It's just natural. There's no second thought.
yeah, I think it's an instinct actually, and it's the warrior instinct. That's
Yes.
how I figured out is that a young man becomes a certain age and he becomes a warrior, and this is from the native tribe structure as well. And the native chiefs would always know how many warriors they had in their tribe. And if they had 200 warriors, that was pretty good. A bigger tribe would have 300 warriors, and they would always quote this. And that's it's instinct. It's the warrior instinct, right?
Yeah.
To protect the tribe, to protect the family,
To
and
protect the vulnerable.
yeah, absolutely, it's an instinct, right?
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
the way I have the way I have figured this out is that our instincts are kind of screwed up now.
Yes.
uh, in human beings, in my species, our instincts are really messed up bad, unfortunately, and our instincts suited us to live in a tribal way. Now we're trying to become civilized, but we're not becoming civilized. We
No,
are not.
it's devolving. It's like, do you think that it's because we've become disconnected from nature and our natural ways?
Well, I blame the psych sciences because it's their job to figure this out, and they have not figured it out. And they should understand. See, there is one faction in the psych sciences who talk about instinct, but they
Yeah.
are a minority faction in our current psych sciences paradigm. They are a minority faction, and yeah, but I'm with that minority faction in that. See, all much of our behavior is determined by our instincts, but our
Yeah.
instincts get screwed up, like for
Yeah.
example, I'll give you a good example of this. Like I went down an intersection near my home, and I found that some young guy in the middle of the night had done donuts in the middle of the intersection in his hot rod and had made big black circles right in the middle of the of the intersection, spinning around to do donuts in the middle of the intersection, right?
Yeah.
I've seen that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I kind of wondered about that. The young guys who have these cars, they have this warrior instinct in them,
Hmm.
but it comes out in that way. That's a kind of a perversion of the instinct because that's got nothing to do with protecting anybody. But then chimpanzees do that as well. They do a threat display, and the males compete with these threat displays. Well, that's all. The reason the chimpanzees do that is to get the pecking order straightened out to see who's the top, who's the alpha, and who are the ones who support the alpha, and who are the lower warriors, right? To get
Yeah.
all the warriors in order. Uh,
Establish the
yeah,
order.
it's instinctual, and it's good actually. Instinct was a good thing when we lived in a tribal way, but we don't live in a tribal way anymore, and it doesn't work out so well. So anyway, this young man, he goes down in the middle, like two a.m. and does donuts in the middle of this intersection, right? Well, he is expressing his tribal instinct. He's doing a threat display exactly like the chimps do it. He's making a lot of noise and he's showing off and he's saying, I am, you know, I am a warrior and I
Yeah.
am and I want to be the top warrior or I want to support the alpha male. And this is what I can do. I can make all this noise and I can make a bunch of smoke and a noise and I'm a warrior, that so it's not a bad thing, really, when you think of what instincts are and how they work and so on. It's not really a bad thing that he does that.
Yeah, like he's
These
expressing his natural um what's the word I'm looking for? It's like uh, like just expressing it like you've got to get it out. You got to get it out of the system, right?
Yeah, yeah. So it's not really a bad thing, and of course, the adults or the old people will see that and they'll say, "Oh, that young punk, why is he doing that and all that?" Well, that's why he does that. Okay,
Yeah.
that's in my opinion. I mean, this is my hypothetical model of instinct and tribal living versus civilized living. Okay, and in my opinion, our psych sciences are nowhere. They are
Yeah,
so bad.
they're pushing
Oh,
propaganda.
they are bad. Well, they have no success rate. Our
Yeah.
current psych sciences, they have no success rate, but they won't look at that. And I got into a debate with a PhD recently. I went to a political meeting and there was a PhD there, and he was a candidate for the Green Party, and he had no chance of winning. So he's just hanging around, chatting with people. I get there early deliberately so I can find interesting people to talk to. And I like debating PhDs, and I whoop them every time.
I
I'm very
bet.
very good at debate. I'm damn good at it. And so anyway, so yeah, this guy, he okay. So I went to the Green Party table because I used to be a member of the Green Party. I'm not anymore, but I used to be. So because I'm an environmental engineer and I know a whole big pile of environmental science and all that, right? So I go to the table and I'm standing talking a bit there, and up comes this guy with a big smile on his face, and he says hi. He says he's the candidate for the Green Party in this riding. And I knew that the Green Party had no chance of winning. But so I get it. I understand the guy. So I start chatting with this guy, and I said, "I'm an engineer," and he says, "Oh, I'm a PhD, a doctor of what was it, social sciences, a doctor of social sciences, which means he's a social engineer. That's what I call him, or as a societal engineer. And a PhD in that. And I hear PhD, and I'm instantly my hair stands on end. Okay, I'm gonna whoop this guy real good. It's like debate can be like cage fighting. I liken it to a cage fight, where,
Yeah.
and I will say that, for example, I'll say with this particular guy, I will say that I left him bleeding and unconscious in the middle of the octagon after after this debate with this guy. I just whooped him so bad because he doesn't even know how to debate. I know scientific debate very well. I've studied it and so on, and given lectures on that as well. So anyway, what I told him was, I said, you don't even uh, you don't even count your success rate. I said to him, I said, you don't even count your success rate. And if somebody comes up to you and says you have a 7% success rate, you call them names. You drop down to ad hominem, which is an error in logic. I told this PhD guy,
Hmm.
and he kind of shrugged his shoulder. He knew what he understood me. He understood that my criticism, because 7% is not a success rate.
No,
It's a
that's not good at all.
not at all. It's a failure rate. But they ignore their own failures. And if you point out to them that they are failing, they uh, they call you a name. They drop to ad hominem, which is a terrible error, logic error. So, anyways, I now so this guy, okay. Now, after I had this conversation with this guy and I insulted the crap out of him, he went up on stage, sat up there in a row behind the podium, and this is a an all candidates meeting. It's a political meeting, all candidates meeting, and so he sits down there, and he's one of like 8 candidates, and I know he doesn't have a chance. He's sitting there, and every once in a while, he'd look down at me from up there. He'd kind of glance in my direction. I would hold up 7 fingers. When he looked at me, I would hold up 7 fingers and shake my 7 at him, like you moron, you flippin' moron. I'm telling this psych scientist idiot.
Yeah.
I have no respect for the psych scientists. Sorry, maybe sometimes they do some good. I don't know, but in my case, I mean, what they usually do these days is for everybody who's on a disability pension is offered SSRIs, I think they're called, the antidepressant drugs.
Yeah.
But those drugs don't work.
No,
They,
they don't. They make
they
things worse. They make things worse, 100%.
yeah, they're a horror show. Friend of mine took the doctor's advice and started taking these things. 2 weeks later, she was going to commit suicide, and it was the drugs that did it. And she realized, because she's a smart lady, she realized, oh my goodness, I think that's those drugs that was making her suicidal. You know?
Was it
Yeah.
Effexor? Do you know what drug it was?
I don't know. I don't remember the exact name of the drug. Was that one for quitting smoking? Do you know what that
Champix. Champix. Do you know?
could
Do
have
you
been?
know that there's so many people that kill themselves over that?
Yeah.
They get on that. There was an old grandpa, and he was very loved in the family. He had a big family, loving family. They adored him. He adored them. It was a very close knit, loving family. But he wanted to quit smoking. He wanted to stick around. He had grandchildren, and smoking. He wanted to quit, so he got on Champix.
Yep.
He killed his whole family, and then he killed himself.
Wow. Yeah. That's what happens. Mass murder. You
Yeah.
you get these mass murderers, and you find that most of them are on those antidepressants. Most of them,
And
very
the
large
chances.
percent of them.
Yeah, I have a friend whose husband, he was not suicidal at all, and he went on Champix to quit smoking, and he killed himself. And so she campaigns against that. Like she really, she's very vocal about that. And um, I didn't know anything about it. She's the one that shared that. I'm not on Facebook anymore, but years ago I was, and every year on the anniversary of his death, she makes it very like she does anyway all through the year, but on the anniversary of his death, she shares all kinds of information, and it's devastating.
Hmm.
And the fact that that's still on the market and people are still using it, because it does work to quit smoking, so they keep it on there. Like, people do have success with it, but what are we trading off here? Like,
Hmm.
I would rather keep smoking than have something like that happen. Can you imagine?
Hmm.
Like, I just the stories that she shared, just devastating.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a
I know.
public service announcement here for anybody who's considering going on Champix. Don't, absolutely don't. Look up the risks, the suicide risks, because they're high, and they're serious, and it's not just little numbers. It's a lot, and they won't tell you that either.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I study up on these things myself, and I decide whether I will take a prescription or not. It's up to me.
Yeah,
I have to do the research myself because doctors just hand out prescriptions like crazy
yeah,
because they get paid more money for handing out prescriptions, right?
yeah, yeah,
That's how they get paid. And
yeah,
that's what's wrong with our one of the things that's wrong with our medical system is
yeah.
that doctors are paid by how many prescriptions they hand out. And that's totally wrong. That's
Terrible,
not
terrible.
not the right way to do it. Now, my current I didn't have a doctor for about 5 years. I was without a doctor at all, and, that was through the whole COVID thing. I didn't see a nurse or a doctor for 5 years. "No problem, I'm fine," I said, and then, I had to go into the, emergency ward because I got a chicken bone stabbing me in the gut,
Oh,
and, oh, it hurt like hell. So I had to go into emergency. So I go in there and I told 'em my problem, and they started checking me out, and they put me on all the meters and all that. And doctors kept coming in to see me. Different doctors would come up to me, and I'm in the emergency ward there, and they'd come up to me, and I'm lying there, and they'd say, "You haven't been to a doctor for 5 years," and I said, "That's right." And they said, "Why is that?" I said, "Well, I didn't get sick, so why would I go to a doctor if I wasn't sick?" And my previous doctor had just quit all of a sudden, and she
mine
quit.
did too.
She just quit
Yeah,
her practice, and I thought, well, I don't need a doctor, and there was trouble in finding a doctor, and I thought, well, I don't need a doctor. What do I need a doctor for? I'm okay. I get by. I was handling my own problems, and I do a bit of physiotherapy for one problem, and then I eat a lot of wild berries to get my antioxidants and stuff like that. I just take care of my own health, and
it's
I'm doing
preventative.
I'm doing pretty good at it. Yeah, and even when I do have a problem, I look it up online, and if I can solve it myself, I will. And like if I get, but if my femur is sticking out of my thigh, okay, I'm going to emergency ward,
Right,
right?
right.
I'm
Yeah,
going to the emergency ward for something like that. But if I can fix it myself, I will. I'll
yeah.
do it. And I can. I found I can fix all kinds of my own problems and make myself, not well, but better. So now I'm doing pretty well. I told you the other time you had a stream on here, I said I had three problems all of a sudden, and one of them was this SI joint in my hip that put me in a wheelchair for a few weeks there.
Yes.
And but I looked it up. I looked it up. I looked up SI joint on YouTube, and I found all these physiotherapists giving all these different exercises for an SI joint problem, and I did them, and I got better remarkably. I improved tremendously
Oh,
from
that's
doing
awesome.
just for 1 week. I was doing some of these exercises, and I improved dramatically over 1 week. And then after 2 weeks, I'm up walking around again. Just yesterday, I went and got a 100-pound tank of propane. I loaded it in the back of my car, took it in, got it filled up. It weighs 70 pounds empty. I picked that up and put it in the back of my car. Went in, got it filled up. Then it weighs 170 pounds. So
Just so everybody knows, Bim Jim is
six,
73?
six.
76.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say 76. I'm like, no, I think I'm going too high.
I don't care. It's it's
70.
it, it's becoming a badge of honor,
Yes, of course.
Yeah, to still function, and my mind is. I still got my marbles.
Yes, that's what matters. Yeah.
I still
That's
got my
great.
marbles. I think that's hilarious. But anyways, yeah, I've done stand up comedy, and I mean, I'm thinking of doing it again
You
because
should.
I, I I keep writing jokes all the
Yeah.
time. I'm
Well,
always
see, I
writing.
think that's if you're channeling jokes, then it's probably time to get up on a stage.
Well, I did it before. I did stand up when I was in my early 50s, and I just gave it a real good go, and I figured it out, and I had a very successful show, and then I quit because I had to get back to my regular job. I couldn't spend so much time on that stand up gig. I'd done it properly. Yeah, I did it really well, and then after I figured it out, took a little practice, got it right. And I had to get back to my regular job, but I've got so many jokes collected up. Oh my goodness, I could
Bimton, we should have you on sometime here, just telling your jokes.
yeah, right. Old
We'll do
people.
we'll
Now
do
I
that.
now I got old people jokes.
That's okay.
You know,
That's okay.
like
My audience would love it. There's
like
for any. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, like, turning 70 is great because, it's the law. You don't have to look behind you anymore when you back up in the mall, and you can wear your slippers to the mall and wander around in the mall in your slippers and your bathrobe, and you could do it's the law. You can do that after you turn 70, right? It's stuff like that, just
Yeah,
jokes, right?
yeah,
But, old people jokes,
I
and
love it.
when I did it stand up before, uh, I did a character. I made up a character, as many comedians do. Like I'm a big fan of Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh,
Now
it's so good. No
he would,
respect.
yeah, yeah, right.
No
and
respect.
but he took on a character that's not even his name. He wasn't married. He didn't have any kids, but he would say, "My wife and I have 3 kids, one of each." And meaning they don't know what the third kid is. But it was, and people laughed at a little joke like that, right?
Yeah.
And that's the art of humor. It's an art form. And yeah, so I
You
did
have to
that.
be very intelligent to be able to have good humor. Like comedians, they very intelligent, and so it doesn't surprise me at all that you have that in you.
Well, yeah, and it's a lot of comedians are ADHD or dyslexic or something like that.
Yeah.
And I am dyslexic. I'm mildly dyslexic, but it's strong enough that it's pretty obvious to me that I am somewhat dyslexic, and because I could never spell, and I'm not good at learning languages, but I'm very good at math and other things. You see, so you do what you can, but that's all common with comedians, the best ones even. Though a lot of them have this ADHD or dyslexia or something like that. They just have a different way of looking at things, right? And
Yeah.
I've always had a different way of looking at things, and people laugh at that. I realize, oh, people like to laugh, so
Yeah. People love to laugh. That's good medicine.
yeah.
Somebody had mentioned quitting smoking in the chat. One that I heard from so many, like I joined quitting smoking groups because I wanted to quit smoking, which I still haven't done, but I'm going to. And one that everybody has success with is Alan Carr's Easy Way to Quit Smoking Without Willpower. So I think you can find a free download of that on the internet somewhere, and it's Alan Carr is Allen. Carr is Carr, and
Hmm.
it's Easy Way to Quit Smoking Without Willpower. And I'm just mindful that we're in the middle of a game, so I'm going to scroll up before the comments get too far on me.
I'll give it
Um,
a try. I'll look
people
that up.
answering. Yeah, do you smoke?
I'm still smoking.
Me too.
And I mean, I can rationalize smoking. Your brain does, when you're
We do
addicted,
that.
your
Yeah,
brain plays tricks on you
yeah.
when you're an addict, right?
And
So
and we can become addicted to anything really. Like you think about the people like those of us who get spiraling on a negative thought. We that becomes an addiction, and the brain responds the same way, and the same part of the brain that's activated when we're spinning and spiraling on a negative thought um, is the same part of the brain that's activated for drugs and alcohol addiction.
yeah.
So they've discovered that this is an addiction, and it's when you go to quit, it's the same as an addiction. You start craving more, you're doing more, right? Um, Woo, your comments, I didn't censor, so I'm not sure why YouTube is censoring. I think that's a real jerk move of YouTube. So if you can do code word, then I'll try and figure it out. Josh says, have you seen anything about Les Wexner in the Epstein files? I haven't. There's so many names. Um, OA says AI YouTube does that. Looks like it posted in chat, reload page, and comment is gone. Darn AI bullshit. It is bullshit. Who says saved a lady from a male who struck her. She worked at Wally World and caught him stealing alcohol. And he struck her? Good for you. Yep, good for you. Guy was being a jerk thieving. Yep, Wu says suplex guy and held down till the cops showed up. Had to try and write that 5 different ways. Jeez. Jeez Louise. Woo, good for you though for doing that. I bet she really appreciated that. Hello, Joe Bluer. Welcome to the chat. We're playing a game. We're playing the conversation game. And the question is, oh, I've got Bim's question next here. Where is it? Have you ever made a scene in public? And it's not just a yes or no. You got to tell us about it. Josh says, did you change from live chat to all messages? Maybe that's why you are missing comments. If that comment is for me, Josh, I'm not sure how to do that on my end. Wu says, has to restrain him for almost, you had to restrain him for almost 20 minutes, but no problem for Wu. That's great. Always says 20 minutes. Yeah, that's a bit of time for sure. Wu says, true story, 103rd Street, Walmart, Jacksonville, Florida, 2018. You're probably in the news, Wu. Always says, yeah, do not troll old people, kids, and so forth. It's a mandate to do right by father and instinct. Oh, that's to do with what we were talking about there, with our instincts. Owe says also protect those folk and animals too. Absolutely, 100%. Public school, higher education being ran by the elite behind the scenes. Yes, all that stuff is so much propaganda bullshit. Owe says donuts. I did that a few times. I would like to do that now, but not at Walmart or any place that would troll folks. He says the reason is the people that wrote those accepted so-called sciences books were mostly communist PhDs. I know for a fact some are just cannot name them right off. He says, I know some pharma is hexed. Call me nuts, but we've seen it with the COVID 1984. Yeah. He says all that got to do is, I think he meant all they got to do, or all they had to do, is remove to add chemical to tobacco, and addiction and nicotine is not addictive. I can back that up with peer-reviewed studies a bit hidden. There's doctors now coming out about that, the healing benefits of nicotine, not nicotine, sorry, tobacco. No, it's the nicotine. Yeah, because they're talking about the nicotine patches. So go on a little deep dive about that, nicotine patches. Josh says, Chantix gave me crazy wild dreams. I've heard that, Josh. Yeah, I've heard that.
Could I
OA
could I
says,
could I
oh,
add
yeah, go
something
ahead.
here?
Yeah, go
Well,
ahead.
I was studying the epidemiology of the COVID thing,
Yeah.
and they found that people who smoked tobacco did not get COVID, did not die of COVID, and they found it was the opposite.
Yes.
You know,
The
they
smoking
thought,
seed does.
yeah,
Yeah.
they thought people who smokers would die more. No, no, smokers
It
died
was the
less.
opposite. And
Now,
the
but
reason was
but
because there's a layer of the little hairs that the virus was attaching to. And we've got a layer because of the smoking of resin or tar or whatever you want to call it. Um, and it made it so that the virus couldn't attach to the little hairs.
well, yeah, I didn't get into the mechanism, but it showed up in the statistics. But the epidemiologists would not mention it. They wouldn't say it out loud. They
Yeah, I
found
noticed that.
they found it in the statistics, but they didn't want to say it,
Yeah.
for obvious
Yeah.
reasons. And
For obvious
I don't
reasons.
I don't
Yeah.
blame them. I don't blame them. I tell young people, don't smoke. Yeah, it's not good for you.
Yeah.
And my
Don't smoke, but if you do smoke, you won't catch COVID.
yeah, yeah. But my main problem with smoking though is the cost.
Yes.
I would have a brand new car if I had quit smoking 10 years ago. I would have enough money to buy a brand new car Okay, so that's the problem now is this cost of it is horrendously bad, which is
Oh,
why I roll my own. I buy tobacco and I roll my own, right? That's a lot cheaper, but holy cow.
that's I was growing some tobacco that a native lady had given me. Well, she gave me the seeds that were started,
Hmm.
and so I put them in my garden and I shared some with my neighbors. But then when my dad got sick and I left, nobody was tending my garden, so um, things didn't last here.
Well, yeah, it's yeah.
And
Here.
I don't have a true garden, right? Like I just have little pots, and
Yeah.
I call it my garden, but my door opens onto the sidewalk, so I don't have a real true garden. I think in a true garden, it's likely a perennial, but in my pots, it was not a perennial.
Yeah, it's very difficult to grow here with our climate because you need those hot summers, which we do not have here. But my neighbor was trying to grow some. Well, he did grow some. I'd never smoked it, so I don't know if it was any good. But yeah, it's almost impossible to grow tobacco here. But I am looked up.
We can grow it here. We could get really hot summers here where I am, and the first year it did grow really well. Even in my little pots, and I was able to take some, and I made tobacco pouches with them mostly, and I kept some seeds for a future to plant. So that's what I'm going to do this year. I'm going to plant, but I'm not going to smoke them because my plan is this year I'm going to quit,
Mhm.
and like this is enough is enough. You know, like you were saying, the amount of money, and I smoke native smokes, so it's a lot cheaper than if I was going to the store. But at the same time, they're really not good for you. You
Mhm.
know, they're it's not good for you. So um, I just yeah, I'm mentally preparing myself for that. But I want
Mhm.
to do this Alan Carr's easy way to stop smoking because I've heard really good reviews about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, I think let me know how you make out with it because
Mhm.
like if there's anybody in the chat who wants to quit smoking, like let's do it as a bunch of us
Mhm.
and kind of support each other through it because it's not going to be maybe it will be easy. People who have used this method, the Alan Carr's method, have said that it's easy, that they quit before they even finish the book, which is it's very promising and gives
Mhm.
me some hope, you know, because any other time I've quit, it was clearly didn't work. And
Yeah.
OA says, but it's not tobacco itself, but crap added in 1970s. Nicotine is good for you, good for your health. It's heavy in eggplants and way more. Um, okay, and Joe says 12-step program for smoking is, excuse me, still probably the best. I don't know about the 12-step, um, but I'm gonna try Alan Carr's if I can find a free download. OA says Dr. Artis. Oh yeah, Dr. Artis. I know that name. He talks about it. Uses nicotine patches for his health, clears mind up, kills parasites, instantly fixes so-called long COVID, lots of health improvements. Just switched to natural stuff. I did and had craving like crazy with one in my mouth. It's those benzines or whatever they're called added. I'm not spill myself out of a paper sack. Always says we got all natural Indian cigs here. Nicotine is good. Um, Josh says at the top of your chat in YouTube, there is a filter icon. Click it and choose all messages. You did it a few streams ago. Um, I did it in StreamYard because I'm not in YouTube there. Um, I wonder if I do that from the YouTube, like from the other from the other oh, what is this called? The other phone. Shit. Okay, let's see if I can do that. Clicking on that chat filter, we want all messages. Okay, did that change anything for you guys? Check your comments if they all showed. Also, there was the talk of, because Bim Jamie, you had mentioned about physiotherapy online. There's a chiropractor online that if anybody needs His name is Dr. Rowe. Let me find the channel name. Uh, Spine Care Spine Care Decompression and Chiropractic Center. Dr. Michael Rowe. Um, Michael, and Rowe is Rowe. Dr. Michael Rowe, at the St. Joseph MI. Is that Missouri or uh, I don't know. MI. bestspinecare.com. So you can check his channel out and read the comment section, because that's what got me doing all his stuff. Is um, the comments. Everybody was getting results. So my injury, like, I know I need serious help with this, because even everything I did from his channel was only so much was helping me. But Spine Care Decompression and Chiropractic Center. He's got a great channel. He doesn't fuck around. He goes right to the point. Like, you go through and find whatever issue you're having, and when you click his videos, he goes right to it. So I like that in a channel. Josh said, oh, I already did that. OA says nicotine is anti-venom. Cobra basted synthetic deal put out on us. Chew it. I'll always use pouches at least. I think you mean patches. Dr. Bob, hello, welcome. Dr. Bob says nicotine is great for you. Yep. Oh, okay, good. I'm all caught up. OA says, Bomber, that setting is something we all can click top chat or okay. That's what I thought. Okay, so I'm all caught up in chat. Bim Jim, we're gonna do your card. 47 and 1. So it's good that you're on, because I'll get you to answer first, and then everybody in the chat. This is for everybody. If you had to change your first name, what would you go by instead?
Bim. B-I-M-M.
B-I-M-M.
Yep. Because.
Jim, you're I can hardly hear you. Are you away from your mic?
Sorry about that. I fixed it. Bim, because a little kid, a 2-year-old kid he was 2, and he was not speaking yet. But his first word he learned to say was plane. And if an airplane flew over, he would point up in the sky and say, plane, plane. That was his only word. But his second word was my name. And I was honored by that. But he called me Bim because he couldn't pronounce Jim, right? So he called me Bim. Bim.
Oh, I love that.
So that's why my YouTube name is Bim Jim.
I love that. Is that a grandchild?
No, he was just a kid who lived a little down the road. There were 2 brothers, 4 and 2 years old. And the little two-year-old was hilarious. He was so funny. He was a little fire plug.
Yeah.
A 2-year-old fire plug. He was so strong. Yeah, he was hilarious.
I've got a little comedian next door too, and she's a fire plug. She's just wild, like and she's not afraid of anything. And if she is afraid, we can very easily show her that there's nothing to be afraid of, and then she'll just conquer it like a beast, And her brother was my storm buddy, and from the time he was really little, as soon as it would start raining, or if there was a thunderstorm especially, but as soon as it would start raining, we would each, him at his place and me at my place, quickly get into our bathing suits and race to knock on the other one's door to get out. Let's go, it's raining. And we're out up and down the street playing in the puddles and dancing in the rain. And well, then his little sister came along, and she was terrified. She didn't want to go out in the rain. She looked at us like we were insane. And they're on the porch. His parents are on the porch with her, and him and I are jumping around the puddles, and we're just having a blast like always. And you could tell by the look in her face that she wanted to be out there with us, but also she didn't want to get wet. Like, it was written all over her face. I said, honey, do you want to come with us? And she was like, and she kind of poked her head out from under the porch, and she's like, no, no. I said, come on, it's okay. Like look at us. It's a good time. And I saw her jumping in the puddles, and um, her brother went over and just grabbed her and brought her out into the rain. And at first she was like, "Ooh, she's getting wet." And I was like, come and jump in the puddles with us." And right away, she immediately was in love with this idea, and we couldn't get her out of the rain after that. It was so great, but she's so funny. That day, that first day where we got her enjoying the rain. There's a grate down in front of their house, and we're standing on the sidewalk, and she goes, "That's where Pennywise lives." I said, "What? Pardon?" She goes, "That's where Pennywise lives." I'm like, Pennywise? Did she say Pennywise? And they like the clown, Stephen King. She's like 3. Her parents were like, "Yeah, she really loves horror movies, and we let her watch it the other night, and it's her new favorite movie. That's her new favorite character. That's her favorite movie." And she's been watching it every night since, and she still does. That's her favorite. But when she pointed at the grate, she goes, "Pennywise, that's where Pennywise the clown lives." I'm like, whoa. That scared me, because Pennywise scared me. I was surprised to have a 3-year-old that I didn't think would ever know about that. Tell me that the clown lives there.
Yeah, my 4-year-old niece, I babysat her a few times, and she was so smart at 4 years old. Oh
Mm.
my goodness, she was smart. And I'd have a problem, and she'd say, "Oh, here, do fix it this way," and she'd fix it.
Yeah.
She was so
Yeah,
damn
yeah.
smart at 4 years old. Oh, blew my mind. Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it. I
My
love
little niece.
it. They're so
Gosh,
smart. The new kids are different, eh? What, baby? What? What? Tell me all about it. They're so intelligent. Like, I don't understand how they got so smart. I've been calling them the COVID kids. And I don't know how they got to be this clever, but they're coming out like just already knowing, or with her, I noticed just right away when she was a baby, she'd look around at everything, and I could see that she was trying to figure out how things worked. And she'd get this look on her face like she was trying to figure it out. And and the moment that she figured it out, you would see her go, "Oh," and then on to the next thing. She was a brand new baby. So I had never seen a baby do this before. Um, but she's beyond intelligent.
hmm yeah, yeah, it's quite amazing. Hmm.
See, I have to go hunting for a pack of smokes.
Oh yeah,
That's
I got one here going. But what I do is I make my own rollies, and I put them in my cigarette holder, and then I take a puff, and I put it down. It goes out. That's
oh
great.
yeah, yeah.
And this is why I don't like tailor mades, I call them, because you put them down and they burn all the way out, right?
What's
And
a tater made?
well, yeah, pack of, like a pack of smokes, right? King
Yeah,
size filter or whatever. I call those tailor mates because I roll my own, right?
yeah.
And yeah, the rollies, you put them down and they go out. And this is how I don't smoke so much, is because I light the same cigarette 3 or 4 times. Yeah.
That's a friend of mine used to do that. That's how he smoked like that for years. He'd just have a couple puffs and put it out and go back to it.
Yeah. Well, it's working for me, because I had my lungs tested. Did I tell you that story?
Yeah, and your lungs were at 98.
Yeah. Crazy.
I
The
love it.
doctors the doctors don't believe me when I come in there and they do this test and stuff on me. They can hardly believe their eyes. In some ways I'm pretty screwed up, but in other ways I'm doing fantastically well. So I like to say, well, my dad lived to be 98 and I'm going for 100. That's my deal. That's my deal.
That's the plan.
I'm
I love
going I got to beat my dad. I got to go to 100. And
it.
there was recently a guy on on a chat channel, and these are people I know. They live just south of me. From the beach, I can see their island, which is in Washington State. Okay,
Okay.
and he lives just down there, and he's got a channel, and he found a guy in his neighborhood who was 102 years old. So he has this 102-year-old on his channel. He's just talking with him, right? And the 102-year-old says, yeah, I quit smoking at 100. I quit smoking cigars at 100 years old, and I'm doing fine. This guy was so smart and so sharp. His mind was phenomenal, and that's why he was on the show. This guy at 102, he remembered his entire life and could recite his entire life at
Oh, that's
102.
amazing.
Phenomenal
I'm
guy.
envious of people like that because, like, I look back and I blocked out most of my childhood, and I thought that that was because of my bad memory, and I'm sure partially some of that is. I'm
Hmm.
sure some of that is likely maybe from the accident, but even before the accident, I couldn't remember most of my childhood. So then, um, I was talking to my other sister, and she's the one that's closest in age with me, the one that we used to speak without speaking, the telepathy.
Oh yeah.
She also doesn't remember our childhood. So um, we realized that that's a trauma response, blocking out the childhood.
Hmm. Yeah.
But
Uh,
I'm
have
envious of.
you have you done any further experiments with telepathy?
Oh,
If
yeah. Well, I wouldn't say experiments, but like pretty much every day, I'm open to it. Like um, with the animals, um, with people, it just kind of seems to happen. Like I'm not trying; it just happens.
Yeah,
Um, Actually, uh, I'd like to know how to shut it off, because
exactly,
you
exactly.
know,
Yeah, if you have come to that conclusion, then I would say you are telepathic because I came to that conclusion as well. I have to turn mine off because I
how
am
how
I,
Bimton, how
I I know bloody well I'm telepathic. I
yeah
know that for
yeah
sure.
everybody is right. It's like a muscle.
Well, no, I don't say that. I don't say everybody is. I don't repeat that because I don't think it's true.
I
Um,
do. I do. I would argue that we are, but that it's like a muscle that use it and you'll strengthen it, and don't use it and it'll atrophy.
well, what I know is that a few people are telepathic, and I've done or strongly telepathic because I've done experiments and I've proven it. Like, oh, okay, for example, my best experiment recently was I was sitting in a chair in the foyer of the library in my little town. And I had been reading for quite a long time, and I came
Okay,
out.
wait, Bench, I'm sorry to cut you off, but somebody is testing me right now, and they're thinking of a triangle. It's popping in my head really strong, and I'm like,
Oh,
sorry, go ahead.
oh,
I
I
don't know
don't do
who's
that.
doing that, but
I don't
it's
do that long distance stuff. I don't even try the long distance stuff.
yeah. I
I
don't try
want,
it. I'd like to know how to shut it off.
yeah, yeah, me too, me too. So I was sitting in this chair in the foyer of the library, and people were going back and forth in front of me. People from the library and from other rooms were going back and forth, and then there was one exit door, just one exit door, and there became a lineup, a group of people trying to get out the exit, but they couldn't because there was too many people wanted to go through, right? So there was a lineup there, and their backs were to me. And I thought this is a perfect situation to try an experiment in telepathy. So I sent out a very loud telepathic message to the whole group. I just blasted at them telepathically, which I've learned how to do. And
Hmm.
all I in the moment, all I could think of saying was hi. So I gave a great big cheerful hi with a big smile and as loud as I could think hi
Hmm.
at the backs of like 15 people. Okay. Just one person out of the whole group turned right around with a big smile on her face, and she turned and her eyes met my eyes right on. She just turned right around and her eyes met my eyes, and all the other people were just still standing there. They did not get my message. She
Because
got my message.
people ignore it. People ignore it. So even if they had have got it, they would ignore it because people are shut down to that stuff. And um,
Mhm,
when you're shut down to something and you're not open to it, well, then you're going to pass it off as a coincidence of something. Like it's your mind making up something, or But how many times, like the people in the chat that like you yourself, this happens all the time, where you're with somebody and you say something and they go, "Oh, I was just thinking that," or you're thinking something and they say it out loud. It's like it happens all the time, and if you're open to it, it'll happen more frequently and it'll be stronger. The
mhm.
more that you use it, but
Yeah,
so many people are shut down to it.
yeah. Well, I seriously have to turn mine off in certain
How?
situations,
Like, can we
because I
learn how? We need to learn how, because I need a
yeah.
button. I need the off
Well,
button.
okay. I apply meditation, and I've been meditating for a long, long time. And I can just standing there in line at the grocery store, for example, I can go into a partial meditative state while I'm standing in line at the grocery store. I can do that.
Yeah,
And
me too.
that's what I do, and that shuts down my sending out of telepathic messages, is to go into this partial meditative state, and I've discovered this, through meditation. I've figured that out through meditation, that I can turn it off that way, and yeah, so it's my own way of meditating, as I go into my mind, and, I don't use, a word. What's that word they use in Hindu meditation? That word that you recite over and over again. My
No, namaste.
no, no. Anyway, I don't do that. I don't do. I do empirical meditation that I.
Oh, you're thinking Om? Are you thinking of Om?
No, I'll think of it in a bit here. Anyways, what I do though is I meditate. Like, I start with the relaxation and the breathing. You got to do all that. You do that stuff, and then I close my eyes and I look for the off switch, and I turn the switch off. And my mind, that's meditation, is when you turn your mind off, and it's your it's your conscious mind that you're turning off, so you can
It's
hear
funny that
everything
you said
else.
that. It's so funny that you said that, because before you said that, I was picturing a light switch in my mind, like in,
Mm.
in an empty room with just a light
Uh-oh.
switch.
Uh-oh. We might be in contact. This is gets weird. It gets weird.
I
But,
know. I love it. I think
I
I think I think we freaked somebody out because one or two people left. Whoever it was, that was maybe the person that was sending that triangle thing. Like
oh, yeah.
it's it's like an elementary test, right? The symbols and all that stuff. Gosh,
Well,
it get really
yeah,
intense.
I've never tried the long distance telepathy. Never tried it. I I don't wanna try it.
No, well, it just
I would
happens
rather not,
naturally.
except with my alien friend. Okay, I did this with my alien friend. Have I told you about my alien friend?
Yes, yes. The
Yeah.
last time you were on,
Well,
yeah,
yeah, I did a successful CE5, a very successful CE5, with my alien friend, and he responded in the most amazing way, where there was no doubt that I was in contact with him through this CE5, and he didn't reply to me in the normal CE5 way. He did it a different way, because he knows my mind. He knows
yeah.
my mind very well. I think I'm actually having conversations with him, way off in outer space somewhere. I guess so, because he's very powerfully telepathic. But, yeah, so I did a successful CE5 with him, and it was very successful, and that's the only time I tried the CE5, and I did it by meditating for, about a full week. I forcefully meditated on him personally, and then asked for a CE5 demonstration, and I got it very pronounced. was extremely pronounced. So yeah.
I think when you were on, it was New Year's Eve. So if anybody wants to hear that story, go to the New Year's Eve live stream, and Bim Jim goes into more detail with that. I just want to get back to the comments here because we're behind in them. Dr. Bob says his answer for if you had to change your first name, what would you go by instead? Dr. Bob says Doc or Bob. OA says Travis is my name. LOL, my tabby cat is laying on, attacking my head, purring, being silly. Knuckles tried to steal my hat. Kitty Cattywack says, Bim Jim, is this the same person who I've seen in Rob G's chat? Most likely.
That is absolutely true. You are
Yeah.
right, Kitty Cat. And I remember your name as well. Yeah, I was on with Rob G probably 3 times, I think I was on with him. And he and I got into some fantastic constructive conversations, you know.
I love him. He
Uh,
he's he's such a great, like, I loved him when he was on SOR. Um
yeah,
and I don't want to speak ill of any of the other people that come and go. Um but I will say that, like, Rob G is somebody that immediately when he came on, I had like really good vibes about him, and I thought this guy, he's going places with this. Josh says I'd change my name to anything but Josh. Kitty Cattywack says, uh, Bim Jim, is this? Yep, this is the same. This is the same. Yep, that's him. OA says, call me Elvis, I guess. Mom was going to name me that, but thought better of it. I used a pipe for a while. I may go back. Dr. Bob says, I can call you Betty. And OA says, it was not me sending. No, I think the person who did that left. I think that freaked them out maybe, and they left because immediately after I said that, they left. But okay, so I'm looking for, we're running out of time here with the live stream. I have to end it in the next about 25 minutes. So if the next person who comes up with a number, I need 2 numbers. One, the first number is from 1 to 55, and the second number is from 1 to 3. And the link should be there to join the panel if you want to come on and answer the question live on air, or if you've got a story to go along with whatever question comes up. So we need a number from 1 to 55, and the second number is 1 to 3. And you're hearing banging there. It's my cat. My cat had a toy mouse, and she wasn't playing with it. Nobody was playing with it, and so I emptied a Kleenex box a couple weeks ago, and I thought, geez, I wonder if I put a toy in the box, if they would play with that. And so I put that mouse in there, and she freaking loves it. And she doesn't play with any of the other toys anymore. She's just over them all. And I rotate the toys even, and still she's not interested. But she really loves this Kleenex box with a toy in it.
Oh, by the way, I could drop out if anybody else wants to come in.
Oh, no, you don't. No, you don't need to, because we can have, I believe, up to 8 people in the chat, or in the
Cool.
panel. And right now, currently, there's only 2 people in the chat.
Cool. Okay, that's fine.
So OA says Jim was cool to listen to. Yes, he's always cool to listen to. He's got great stories. If Jim, you told some fascinating stories. New Year's Eve when you were on, I really loved that, and it would be cool if we could cut that part out of the New Year's stream and do put that out as one video. Do you know what I mean? Like from when you were on, because the story about the nuclear sites, and yeah, it was really interesting. So now, okay, so there people are coming in and out. I need 2 numbers, guys. The first one is 1 to 55, and the second number is 1 to 3. And if somebody doesn't answer soon, we're gonna ask Jim or OA to give another number, because We're running out of time. Okay, OA says 38, 34. No, so two numbers, and what the first one is from 1 to 55, and the second number is 1 to 3. So I could do 38 and then 3 if that's what you want. I could do that. $38 and 2. Okay, we're on it. Oh, but that's not a great question. I'm gonna I'm gonna take the next 38. Okay. What never fails to make you laugh? That's a great question to end on. What never fails to make you laugh? OA and everybody in chat and Bim Jim, what never fails to make you laugh?
A sneeze? Oh, no. Hiccups. Hiccups. I get the hiccups sometimes. Then I start laughing.
You laugh while you have the hiccups?
Yep.
That probably makes the hiccups even worse, and they make them last longer.
Yep.
Like,
Then I start choking.
yeah.
Hiccuping and choking. Yeah.
OA says, my silly cats. My silly cats right now, they make me laugh too. They're extremely silly. They're being very silly right now. 5 people in chat. Let's go. What never fails to make you laugh? And since that's a quick one, let's do another one. Bim Jim, do you want to choose some numbers?
Oh gosh. Okay, let me see now. I'm trying to think. Okay, 34 and 2.
$34 and 2. Okay, and Josh says toilet humor. Oh, I'm the opposite. I feel like I'm not one of those people, and it's funny because there's a lot of people that find that funny. I'm not one of them. I think it's because my imagination is too strong. Okay, you said 34 and 2. What was the worst lie you told as a child? The worst lie that you told as a child. Josh, you know, the SOR group, Spaced Out Radio, they've got a lot of people over there enjoy the toilet humor. If ever you have a joke and you want to get it out of your system, the SOR chat, they love it. Oh, Jim, your worst lie was that you didn't take the matches.
Yeah, but I did take the matches. And I was like, oh gosh, I was like 3. I think I was 3 years old, and we had a match, a wooden match dispenser on the wall in the kitchen. My
Yep.
mother was in the other room, and I reached up and I took some matches out of this match dispenser, and it made a noise, and my mother heard it. And
She knew right away.
she knew I was taking matches, and she comes up to me. She says, "Did you take the matches?" I said, "No, I didn't take any matches, but I did take some matches." I went outside and tried to start a fire, but I couldn't start a fire because everything was wet. But
Oh.
I, I was 3.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's great. Oh, he says, yeah, movie or all that type so-called humor, not a fan. I'm not sure what that means. Let's see. Oh, he says, lie as a kid, that's a hard one. Josh says, I love Dave and the SOR people. Yeah, they're great. They're great. And Dave has a potty humor too. He really likes potty humor. So when someone in the chat has toilet humor, he laughs with it. I think I'm an oddity over there, and probably in general with that stuff. Worst lie. Gosh, when I was really little, um, I was so scared of getting in trouble that I lied to my parents all the time. And listen, my dad, he taught me he taught me a lesson, and some people would probably consider it abuse, but anyway, the lesson was learned, and after that, I couldn't lie. Like it was I just was not capable of it, and I'm grateful now for the lesson he taught me. It was a really tough lesson to learn as a child, but I'm glad that he did what he did. He made me sit on the hardwood floor in front of his bed until I was ready to tell him the truth. And I was adamant that I was telling the truth. Each time I was adamant. I told my story in my head so many times I believed it. But he knew the truth. And so he said you're not to get up until you're ready to tell me the truth. And I said, I told you the truth. He said, well, you can continue to sit there. And Jim, I sat there for fucking hours in this tiny little space because there wasn't much space in front of the bed between the dresser and the bed. My legs were bent up, like fetal position type thing, but and I was a child, so I could sit like that for a bit for sure, but it was hours and hours and hours on this hardwood floor, and it got to where my butt was numb, my legs were numb, and it hurt so bad. I was in so much pain, and he'd say, well, are you ready to tell me the truth? And I say, I did already. He's like, well, you can continue to sit there. By the time I was ready to tell him the truth, I was in so much pain and couldn't feel anything from my waist down. Um, he only had to do that a few times before I wouldn't lie again, and I absolutely couldn't. Like it was almost like a psychological reconditioning of my mind. Like the pain. It was just it was awful, and that stuck with me. Now, even joking, like if I'm trying to joke with somebody, I have to turn my face, because if you look at my face, you're gonna know. Can't hide it.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, you know what this makes me think of is like, I think back through my childhood, and I think that my parents did not discipline me. I never got disciplined, almost never. My parents would just say to me, "Go out and play."
Yeah.
That was it. That's all they ever
Yeah.
told me. They never told me to do my homework, and I wish they had. They never told me to brush my teeth. I wish they had told me to brush my teeth. They should have bugged me about that. And I would have got some better habits. So I
Yes.
if I was raising kids, I would give more discipline than my parents gave to me, because I
Oh
can
yeah.
see that I really lacked discipline as a kid, and especially the homework thing. I was, oh man, I was lazy. I,
Oh,
I I was obsessed with what I wanted to do, and that's all I did, you know, which paid off later. But I mean, all I wanted to do was take my bicycle apart and put it back together. Then I wanted to take my motorcycle apart and put it back together. And then the lawnmower and the go kart and everything. That's all. I was so obsessed with that, you know, which
Well,
paid out, which
yeah,
paid.
the positive part of that is that you ended up doing what you wanted to do, and you became very successful in that because you knew what you wanted to do and you were going to do it, right?
Well, I suppose there's good and bad in all of that. Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
The yin and the yang.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, we live a life from birth to death.
We sure do.
That's what the Buddhists say, you know, that's one of the main teachings is in Buddhism.
Balance.
They say you live a life from birth to death. That is your life, you know, and that is true. When my mother died in 2004, I was a little bit sad, but then I started thinking about her entire life, and I thought of her life from birth to death, and I thought when she was happiest, you know, and I
Yeah,
like to remember my mother when she was happiest, you know, and that's I get that image in my mind of my mother when she was during her happiest time in her life, and later on she was sadder, but she had a happy time, you know, and that's how I remember my mother is.
that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, that's and I guess my father too to some extent, but although my father and I had a falling out at a certain point, and then we shut down contact, and I wouldn't talk to him anymore for the last many years. But yeah, my whole family dissolved in alcohol is what happened.
Oh shit.
Families do that. You
Yes,
add
I do.
alcohol to a family, it's soluble.
Yeah,
And I was the only non-drinker in the family, out of 5, 6 people, something like that. I was the only non-drinker. And so for me, family reunions were absolute just horrible because everybody was arguing and you know drunken stupid behavior,
yeah,
and I was alone. I didn't want to participate in that. My father and my older brother would have these gigantic political arguments, and that dominated the family reunions. My
yeah. The
brother,
energy of that is so like it would that would take over the whole room, the whole everything.
yeah, and everybody was bitchy. So my sister would do the cooking because my mother by that time was too old to cook. So my sister would do all the cooking for the, you know, Thanksgiving or Christmas. So I would wander into the kitchen and ask my sister, "How can I help you? Let me do something. Let me chop some vegetables, anything." You know, and would snap back at me, "Get out of here," you know. And I mean,
Oh,
I'm just trying to be friendly and helpful, and she would snap at me because she was hungover. You know, she was
yeah.
also an alcoholic and she was hungover, but so the only, uh, other sober person at a family reunion was my sister-in-law, Jill, married to my older brother. My sister-in-law, Jill, was the only other sober person, so I'd wander around till I encountered Jill, and we would sit down and start talking,
Oh, you
and
told me about this, that you had a telepathic moment with her,
oh, yeah,
uh, and there was some laughing, and then your brother got really upset.
yeah, yeah, it became a triangle, and
And
that's
did you ever repair that?
no.
Oh,
That's when the family exploded at a certain point, and that was the end of it. I was out of the family, and I told him,
imploded. It sounds like it imploded.
well, I divorced my family, and I told him that. I said, "I'm not putting up with this crap anymore. I'm out of here. I'm gone. Goodbye. I have my own life. I lived in another town, and I had a full life, and I worked and everything, and I was very busy, and I just separated from my family at that point. And I think at the time I was about 40 years old, something like that at the time. And I just, you know, I said, screw this noise because there was all this family BS going on, all the arguments and the triangles and all this bullshit, you know. And I just said, okay, I'm out here. Goodbye. And
Yeah.
my father did try to reconcile with me at one point when he stopped drinking. But you see, he would stop and then start and then stop and then start. And I knew that. And he tried to reconcile. And I said, nope, bye bye, go away. I'm done. I have my own life. I have a life to live. I don't want no trouble from my family. And it was all, you know, to me, it was all trouble. And
Yeah, and that's what matters, right? Like, it's like Dr. Gabor Mate says, trauma is not about it's not like the actual incident. It's how does he say it? He says it's not the accident, it's the concussion.
Yeah. Well,
And,
they pulled my family, all the individuals, they pulled energy out of me.
oh yeah,
They just
vampires.
they just pulled it out. And I don't like this because like, I had lots to do in my town. I had
Yeah.
all kinds of friends. I knew lots of people. I was all the time, extremely active in many groups and work and all this stuff, very, very active with all my friends. And I chose sober friends. And that's why I enjoyed them, is because they were sober, right? Reasonable human beings. So I figured out that the people I was stuck with in my family were not my kind of people. I had to go out and find my kind of people, and that's what I did. So I joined the Telescope Club and the Astronomy Club, and I joined the Natural History Society, and I was active in environmental groups and meetings and all that stuff. And I did a lot of public speaking. I gave lectures, and I've had a full life that I enjoyed doing, and that was what I wanted to do. And anytime I got in contact with my family, it was just not a good situation, not the
Well,
kind of people I would hang around with normally. you know.
yeah, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb.
Well, that's the way it is with me. I mean, and I know some people who are very much attached to their family, and good luck to them, but that was not me and my situation in my life. Like the Buddhists say, you live a life from birth to death, and that's, you know, I'm aware of that. And
Yes.
so I avoid unhappy or painful situations, and I go and do what I want to do, and I hang out with the people I like to hang out with.
I think it's a good way because to live is to suffer, right? Like let life bring suffering, and why bring
Mm,
more suffering, more unnecessary suffering than you need to? Like that. This is the part of for me, like drama, anything that threatens my peace, my balance. Like life already is doing that by throwing all kinds of stuff at us all the time.
mhm.
So why would we want to add to that to make it worse? It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, if you don't have to,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
I
of course, like sometimes things are going to happen, right? That's out of our control. That's a part of life too, right? But like if you can avoid the situation, and that's why like when people, if you know you're not a happy drunk, if you know you're a mean drunk, or that you start fights or start get emotionally charged up, and why continue to drink and then put the people around you through that? It's very selfish.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's not like nobody ever said anything to them. I'm sure that it was brought up probably multiple times in their life. Uh, the first time it was brought up to me, um, and I'm a happy drunk. Like when I drink, I just get happier and happier. My whole family is like that until something. If somebody hurts somebody, um, then it's like we go wild like animals. But typically we're all happy drunks. But then I would go home for Christmas, and my sisters, they kind of, it wasn't an intervention, but they took me aside and they said, "You ruin Christmas every year." And that was a slap in the face. They said it's because you go missing for 3 or 4 days, and then you're hungover for 3 or 4 days. They said we're only here for a week. So
Mhm.
that was an eye opener. And that year when we announced our challenges, um, that my sister under me, she decided she was going to abstain from processed sugar, and the sister under her, she was going to abstain from pork and TV before 8 p.m. And I said, I'm going to abstain from alcohol. And our challenges are from January 15th to December 15th, so a year minus a month. And we get three cheats in the year. So that's not like a 3-day bender. That's a you know what I mean? And I was the only one that followed through. They were so shocked when I said I was going to abstain from alcohol, and because I was a pretty heavy drinker, and I used it as an escape. Right? I was self medicating, um, but anyways, I did it, and it was the whole thing. But I've never been the same since, and I've never gone back to alcohol the way that I had. Well, there was a period of time with an ex. He was an alcoholic, and I ended up getting back into liquor for a little bit. But then I left him because that relationship was becoming toxic because of the alcohol, and I was able to leave that and back to just a couple times a year. Nothing crazy. Well, I can't say nothing crazy because I do get really happy, but um, yeah, I don't. It used to be drinking every weekend. When I would go home for Christmas, it was multiple days in the week. It would be like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Like that's enough, and then of course it's a few days of hangover after. They were right. They were absolutely right. When I share that story, people always say, "Oh, well, that was mean of them to say," but no, they were being honest with me, and I really appreciate that they did say that, because it changed my life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes a few words from a good friend or family can really, really make a big difference. That happened to
Huge.
me. It happened to me too, because I was working in my 20s. I was fully employed and living in a house with three other employed guys, communal house, and I'm getting a I'm getting a noise. But anyway, so I started coming home from work because I worked very hard. And I came home from work and I'd have a drink. And I figured out a drink I really like, which was Coca Cola and Johnny Walker Red. So I'd come home from work. I'd have my little whiskey, and then I'd have another one, and then I was ready for bed. And I got into that habit, and oh my goodness, after a while, it started having a bad effect on me. And one day, one of my home people there, he had drank my Coca Cola out of the refrigerator. And he wasn't supposed to do that. And I blew up at this guy. I really blew up at him. And my other friend, my good buddy, was in the kitchen, watched the whole thing, and I sent this guy who drank my Coca-Cola. I sent him out to buy me another bottle of Coca-Cola, like right now. I gotta have my Coca-Cola right flipping now. And he did. He left to get me a Coca-Cola. But my other friend was sitting there in the kitchen. He watched the whole thing. And he kind of pointed out to me that I had really flipped out. I'd gone really quite crazy, and that maybe I should think of easing up on the booze. And he clued immediately. I went to the fridge. I took out my bottle of Johnny Walker Red, poured it down the sink, right then and there. Just a few words from my friend. I
Yep.
went. I did that. Poured it right down the sink and didn't have a drink for years. I quit for quite a few years there. I was total non-drinker, and yeah, just a few words from a friend, and man, it was the words I needed that day because I'd freaked out. And when the other guy came back with my Coca-Cola, and his name was Dan, and I apologized up and down to Dan. I said, "I'm so sorry, Dan. I didn't mean to do that. It was the alcohol, and that's it. I quit drinking, and I'm very sorry to blow up at you like that." And fortunately, Dan was a very reasonable guy, and he was a good friend of mine as well. And so, fortunately, that's what happened. Just a few words from a friend or family, and wow, you realize, gosh, I got to smarten up.
Yeah, well, that's if you're self-aware enough. Like some people take offense to being called out about that stuff, and or they become reactive. But if you can
Mm,
actually listen with some reason and logic, and actually like consider what the person's saying, like you did, and like I did, then it can really change your life.
Mhm.
Um, I'm mindful of time, so I can either cut the stream right now, or we can stay on for longer, but I won't be able to stream again for a couple days. So anybody in the chat, Jim, anybody in the chat, if you want to input on that, we'll need to either end it in the next minute, or um, or we keep streaming and we we don't stream for a couple days. That's the option right now. Josh said, I was too afraid to lie as a kid because am a terrible liar, and I knew I would get caught. OA says, I remember I lied to mom about going to take apart my toys while the tools, screwdrivers, were laying there. LOL, I was bad about that type of stuff. He says they do call it spirits for a reason. Glad I stopped drinking, opened me up to the unseen darkness, voices, extra projected thoughts. Fuck all that mess. um, he says, Jim, I do not blame you. Man, drinking sucks. Astral, hello. Welcome to the chat. Good to see you. How was your day? And are we cutting this off now, or what are we doing? OA says, I gotta go to bed anyway, Bomber. So good night. Astral says, maybe just save the hours, Bomber, with the unexpected stream. Okay, so then maybe we'll go live tomorrow, and we'll do it a little bit earlier. How about that? Day was good. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna cut the stream really quick, and we'll go live again tomorrow, and we'll do it a little bit earlier, and we'll be able to go as long as we want to, as long as they give me those. Like I'm a couple minutes away right now from being cut off. So I hope you had a great day, everybody. Bim Jim, you're freaking awesome. Thank you so much for coming on, and much love to you. I hope you have a great day tomorrow, and well, if you want to see the snow, rewind to the beginning. Okay. Good night, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Good night.